Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jennifer, your life coach, business strategist, and action instigator. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who watched my first video blog and gave me just some great feedback. A lot of you told me that you watched the video and sprung into action, and that's exactly what the point was. So I'm super excited. And as you requested, I'm making a new video. But I got some constructive criticism, which I'm always willing to receive. And the two main concerns were I need to make my videos shorter. I'm long-winded. I'm going to do my best. And the second concern was about one of the points I made in the first video. In that video, I suggested that you essentially feel the fear and do it anyway. And while a lot of you said, yes, I get the concept and that sounds great, but I mean, fear is is what paralyzes us. So how do you literally push through your fear? So today I'm going to address that question. And I'm going to give you 16 ways that you can push through your fears today. So this will be great for all of you who have a dream or a mission or a vision or a goal that you want to achieve, but you're scared and you're feeling the fear, your knees are knocking and you're shaking in your boots. So without further ado, here are your 16 ways to push past your fear today. Your brain is going to conjure up a way more dramatic outcome than will happen in real life more times than not. So just keep in mind, whatever is going on in your head is probably a lot crazier than what will actually happen if you go for your goal. Actually come up with your worst case scenario. What are you scared of right now? What is the worst thing that can happen? Really, really think about it. I know we don't like to, but write it down, feel the feelings, and then what you can do is start working backwards from your worst case scenario. What could you do to mitigate the horrible outcome of your worst case scenario? A lot of clients I work with say that their worst case scenario would be that they go for this venture and then they lose their money and they'd be homeless. So in that case, the way you would mitigate the effects of your worst case scenario is you could call up all the homeless shelters in your area to see what their policies are. Or you can get in contact with your family members to see who would be willing to let you into their home while you got back on your feet. These are examples of what you can do to see what would actually happen in your life if your worst case scenario came true. By acknowledging it and facing it, two things happen. One, you may realize that your worst case scenario isn't that bad. When before you were so scared that you'd be homeless, and now you know really worst case scenario, you're going to crash on your cousin's couch for a month. You also have a backup plan. So even if your worst case scenario came true, the worst thing you could possibly think of came true, you have a plan for it. You're already set and you have something in place. So now you can just go for your goals. Our lizard brains are set up to problem solve. So that's why we tend to, no matter how positive of a person you are, we tend to come up with the what ifs and the why nots and worst case scenarios. So to counterbalance that tendency, come up with 50 reasons why your goal will work. Write down 50 ways or more why your idea will work out, why your dream is necessary for the world, and you can come up with ways that you can make it happen. Brownie points if you post your list somewhere that you can see it often. So while your lizard brain is coming up with reasons why it may be a no-go, you'll have your list of evidence of why it's an absolute go. Come up with a motivational playlist that gets you fired up and ready to spring into action. You can use a tool that I came up with called a success list. A success list is basically where you write down anytime you came up against adversity when you thought you weren't going to make it and you did. You can also write down any accomplishment, both big and small. A small accomplishment might be you washed the dishes even when you didn't want to, because that's an example of you pushing yourself anyway. Or it can be a huge accomplishment like asking for a promotion and actually getting it. So create a list of all of your accomplishments and times that you were up against adversity and made it anyway, and put it all on a list. Then you can always refer to this list as evidence as to why you absolutely can achieve whatever you set out to do. Come up with positive mantras, meditations, and positive affirmations. You're a world-changing visionary, so this is a great tool for you. Keep in mind, it's not about you. Come from a place of service and tell your ego to take a hike. close your eyes and jump. Sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith. Pray, because we all know there's so much power in prayer. And on that same note, let go and let God. One of my mentors used to say, don't pray and then worry. If you're really letting it go and being released on the outcome, great things will come your way. You can also take a statistical approach. What are the actual chances of you failing at your goal or mission or idea? Why have people in the past failed? Why is that the percentage of failure? And then again, it gives you a point of reference to work backwards so that it doesn't happen to you. This always helps me when thinking about moving through my fear. Just keep in mind that it's better that you tried it all instead of cowering in the corner and being nervous about going after it. Even if it doesn't work out the way you wanted, you have something to add to your success list because you went for it anyway, and you always learn something along the way. There's nothing better than great quotes about springing into action to get you all fired up to move through your fears. Here's a tricky little trick. When you're really feeling fearful, a lot of times you say, I can't do that. But what if you replaced I can't with I won't? Because with I can't, you don't have any power. But with I won't, you have the power to decide I will or I won't. When I had to speak in front of a group of people and I was so scared, and in my head I was saying to myself, oh my gosh, I can't go in front of those people. When I replaced I can't with I won't go in front of those people. Well, now I'm making an empowered decision. So I had to ask myself, well, is that true? You won't go in front of those people? Are you just going to flake on your responsibility? Which, of course, that wasn't really what my highest desire. So this is a great tool for you to use when you find yourself telling yourself, oh my gosh, I can't make that phone call. I can't do that presentation. I can't write that book. Replace can't with won't and regain your power and see what's really true for you. Give yourself permission. Write yourself a permission slip. Say, I give myself permission to shine. I give myself permission to go for it. I give myself permission to take a risk. And then, just write a couple of sentences and put it somewhere that you'll see it every day. Sometimes the thing that is keeping us from moving through our fear is just that we don't give ourselves permission to do it. Make friends with your fears. Write down your top 10 fears and where they stem from. Now, this is going to take a lot of inner work, but it's really, really worth it. What you will discover is that a lot of your fears you don't even believe anymore. They usually came from someone that raised you in your childhood. And you'll see that, either they were doing the best that they could at the time, or that it was always coming out of love, or just that message of fear or doubt was inadvertently instilled onto you. So once you have all that information in front of you, you can then choose something new for yourself. And you don't even have to take on that fear or that doubt that maybe wasn't yours to begin with. And from there, you can give thanks for the lesson, appreciate the love that was being bestowed onto you, even if it didn't result in the most ideal situation. And then you can move on and make friends with your fear. So those are 16 ways you can push past your fears today. And I do suggest that you start on some of them today. And I would love to hear which ones work for you and which ones resonate with you. So just hop on over to jennifercovington.com and leave a comment and let me know which tool or technique helped you push past your fear today. When you're oh no, we're gonna have to work with that. No, God, ugh. Ugh. I don't know about that. Oh my God. Okay. It makes so many things. Oh God, I can't wait. Oh my God. Okay.